Hi. Is that working?
We are off to the races. And pop things.
So I'm still seeing a lovely splash screen.
Yes, that's because I've just got the stream up and running. Everything should be fine.
Does the stream run? I mean, is it bipedal? Does it have two legs?
I think, just in general, most streams run. Some streams babble. Maybe that's a brook. Okay.
Only a brook may babble.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
I am Richard Mitchell, Joystick's reviews editor. Hopefully that is showing up. Good. I'm reviews content director, I should say. And with me today is our editor-in-chief, Mr. Ludwig Kitzman.
Yeah, so I am the reviews content director editor, essentially. I edit the reviews content director, sometimes. Right.
Did not do a good job this time, as clearly I had trouble setting the stream up.
Yeah, no, and I just let you stream this crazy game. If you're just joining us, we're streaming Octodad, Dadliest Catch, which I believe used to be based on a student game.
Yeah, this it started out as a student game, and this is their sort of fully fleshed out version of that process.
And this is something that you can play on PC or Mac or Linux, I believe.
Yep. It's PC,
and it's
Mac,
coming to
Linux.
PlayStation 4 later in the year.
Yeah, and you can get it on GOG.com. You can get it from Octodadgame.com. You can pick it up on Steam.
Late. He's always late.
So this is the very beginning of the game.
What on earth is keeping him?
It's my wedding day. Oh, there I am.
Mr. Groom?
Oh,
The
wait.
wedding is starting. Are
That's
you
not
ready?
me. Oh, there I am. I'm the obvious
You're not even
octopus.
dressed. Make yourself presentable. She's waiting for you.
So I don't know how to break this to you, Richard, but I've just noticed something, and that is the fact that the man that you're controlling in this video game, I don't think he is a human being.
Perhaps not what he appears to be. So we've started this all the way from the beginning, and you've already seen a nice example of this game's humor. The man opened the door and gasped, and you're like, oh, well, the jig is up. He's obviously an octopus, and the man says, you're not even dressed! Because that's what's really surprising.
So, because he's an octopus, he has some weird controls. His arms are very floppy. His tentacles are a little unwieldy. But I like this very first objective, is just clearing the table of junk. You can pretty much just flail around, because he's almost freaking out, really.
And now I tried desperately to open this cabinet. Now I get to open it.
Do you think the sound effect that they use for his tentacles sticking to things is accurate? Like, do you think they recorded that from an octopus?
You know, maybe. I think it seems like the sort of dedication that a student team would have.
What do you think is going through his mind right now?
Oh god, I'm late again. Oh god, they're going to discover I'm an octopus. Oh god, oh god.
What was the situation when he had the suit tailored? Because that's... right, like, you have to visit a tailor before you can get a suit for your wedding.
He had a different suit that he wears. He's like a never nude.
And how did he explain that to the tailor? Like, I don't understand how he could have, explained the measurements successfully.
One of the best parts... Oh, God, I have a chair stuck to me. One of the best parts of this game is that people talk to him constantly, and his response is always just these unintelligible burbles, but somehow people seem to catch his meaning. They seem to understand what he's trying to say. Okay,
I feel like your movement through this room could have been a little more graceful.
I don't know. I'm gonna do it right. So here's
also, have you noticed how ineffective many doorknobs are in this game? They really aren't attached to the doors.
Actually,
very well.
that is...
Maybe he just has an incredibly strong grip.
Okay, I'm not even gonna... Is there another door in here I can test before I open this one? So you're seeing just the wonderful locomotion in this game. We praise a lot of games for having really good, well-defined locomotion. And this game is kind of the opposite, and that's the point.
Well, I just love watching him move. I mean, it's not hand animated, I suppose. It's physics driven. He's very floppy as he flails around it, but that gives it a fluidity that you don't usually get with a lot of game characters. But then a lot of game characters are not cephalopods.
True. So, like, if I try to just bust out of here and just skip out of my wedding, the doorknob just comes off.
And I think it's worth pointing out that grabbing the doorknob in the first place is harder than you're making it look right now. You've had some practice.
I've had a lot of practice with this. In fact, maybe I should explain exactly how... Whoa! Slipped on a banana peel. How the controls work. Actually, I want to look at this...
Or how they don't work.
I want to look at this guest book real quick, though.
Also, banana peels everywhere. We know what happens when you... That's the one realistic part of this game, I think, is slipping on banana peels.
Also, I like that they're getting married in the Church of Cthulhu, obviously.
One of the nicer octopuses
Yes.
in history, I think.
Certainly one of the more notable ones.
Yes.
It's like that, the Kraken, and like the giant squid from...
I mean, they call him
20,000 Leagues.
Lovecraftian because he puts weddings together. He crafts the love
Love.
that is required.
He's just a
for
wedding
successful
planner
wedding.
this whole time, and everyone just really misunderstood. So this is
H.P. Lovecraft was a highly paid wedding planner.
right. This is one of the best things in the game is just throwing stuff. So I got my bow tie, which I put on by extending in front of the octopus and just slapping it towards his face.
There are also hats all over the game, which you can wear
Yes,
at the same
there are hats. They're like
and hidden ties, right? Like there are hidden ties throughout the game.
I probably already missed several of them. And then there's
He really pulls off a tie.
he does. There's one.
He usually puts it on with great effort.
There's one level that has like Kanye West like window blind shades that you can put on.
Also,
Oh,
what
my
is
hat,
with
my
that
hat.
crazy crate that you opened a while ago to get in here?
I'm just here for the reception.
It's a pretty serious church.
I need to get my hat on. There we go.
How do you think your wife's family feels about you?
Doesn't he seem...
You know, I don't know. I would think like he seems like a nice guy, but there's something about him I don't
Like
trust.
everyone's accepting it, and they trust that she knows what's best for her, and that she's truly in love with him. But I think most of the family just talk about him behind his back as soon as they can.
Yeah. Once they figure out which end of him is his back.
How much is this game, Richard? That's a question from Mojo 2001 90, or
It's,
maybe it's 2,190,000.
Guess you'll have
This
to
is
get the ring
$15,
yourself.
$14.99. I think it's still on sale. You know, usually when, so it might be like $2 or $3 cheaper than that.
Do you
and this-
need any help over there?
This whole scene you've just seen of me walking through the wedding chapel highlights one of the only like sort of gamey mechanics, which is that there are human beings around and they see you like run into a bunch of stuff, they begin to suspect that you're an octopus. And that's actually one of the weaker parts of this game. Because it turns the whole game into sort of a stealth game, except it doesn't really feel very
Right,
good.
but I think it's interesting in that you have to try to do something completely normal.
Yes.
So the nature of your objective is normal, but you also have to do it in a way
You look
that is
so
human-like.
handsome.
So this game counts on your own experiences as a human, I guess,
right.
and how things go down. And he's just trying to do it as you know, normally as possible.
So Phobin in the comments says, I don't understand this game. It seems to just be a totally regular guy doing totally regular stuff.
Little
Oh.
does he know.
Now you get to hear the
I mean,
awesome theme song.
We can talk about the control some more, because that's really what the game is about, is controlling someone unwieldy, doing things that in real life would be absolutely simple to do.
So, you've got some basic control over your arm tentacle. You can move it like along the x-axis and the y-axis using the different analog sticks. I, by the way, fully recommend playing this with a controller, not the mouse.
Right. But it's not even logically laid out. It's like the left analog stick is sort of horizontal movement, and the right analog stick allows you to adjust the height
Right.
of
So
your tentacle.
you kinda
But
have
also
to
got
use them
legs
both.
and have to triggers.
So like his legs, basically, if you hold down the right trigger, his right leg just lifts straight up in the air, and then you point it wherever you want it to go. And then if you pull the left trigger, his left leg just lifts straight up, and you point it where you want to go. So you kind of just start slithering, sliding around, and lurching, I think would be a good word for it. And if you treat it really carefully, you can actually sort of walk if you do just little tiny movements.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna switch this over to full screen real quick. So I'm awake, my alarm is going off, everyone hates that.
But he's very smart because he put his alarm away from his bed. That's how you get out of your bed.
Yeah, that's
like if it's right next to your bed, you can just silence it, put it on snooze.
Right, keeps you from hitting
like the way
snooze a
he
million
thinks.
times. You can reach up. So I'm not even taller than my own chest of drawers here. And as I hit the button, of course, it's actually stuck to my tentacle. Let's see, I'm gonna root through some of these drawers. This is just the best part of this game. It's
Also,
just-
waking up at 2 p.m., he should not be having this
No.
much difficulty.
I agree with you there. We are in agreement.
He is strong, though, like ripping out an entire drawer with very little...
Yeah, not even a thought, not a grunt, nothing. Another broken doorknob. I think I may have already found all the ties in this level.
Also, he was wearing a suit when he woke up. I think that's a little alarming.
Yeah.
What happened the night before? That's my question. How did he not even change?
Dad's up.
He'll have to do some home improvement and fix that doorknob at some point.
I like that his kids acknowledge that Dad is up. Like it's too late for him to be.
Like they just hear a racket.
Babies with a blue jay and a cardinal egg.
You look at some of the little objects in the room, like all these portraits.
So I'm very worried about this living room setup. They have these steps that go into this sort of recessed area. That seems like a dangerous. Like how many injuries will result from that?
Especially for
People
house
forgetting
kids.
there's a step.
I guess I'll show you guys exactly how the controls work. This is me just holding the left trigger. My leg just goes up in the air. Point it wherever I want. And then the right leg goes up.
Yeah?
And if you press very carefully, you can just sort of kind of shuffle and almost look like you're walking. Like a drunken idiot. But the easiest way to move around is just this weird tumbling,
Oh, you're fine.
rolling around.
Nice to see you, sleepyhead. I'm working on a little
So the game just gives you these everyday tasks.
To expose corruption in the fishing industry.
We're on the front page!
And I just
Says
want
Ultra
to
Fire.
like a boy.
Ah, yeah. So my first task is to make some coffee. Let's see how I'm gonna try to do this as neatly as possible.
You know, I failed this test almost immediately the first time I played it because I just assumed that there would be coffee in the machine already, so I just pressed the button.
Eating a whole wedding
I
cake.
did too. I pressed it like 10
And
times.
nobody was getting
Oh,
mad.
already getting coffee everywhere. All right, there we go. And let's see if I can just put this coffee back on the shelf. There we go.
My
Pretty good,
typewriter
pretty
is
good.
out of ink. We've got more somewhere, right?
And if you listen to what the people say, what his family says, his wife saying like, "Oh, my typewriter's out of ink. We have some more, right?"
Well, you know, she just thinks